Hello and welcome to Ranking Rick Riordan, a podcast about Percy Jackson and the whole wide rest of the Riordanverse. I'm Dan.
I'm Olga.
And I'm Clara. And today we're talking about all sorts of news from the Riordanverse.
Yes, so this is technically part 2 of our spoiler-free review of Daughter of the Deep, but we broke it into after the fact, so this is our cool new intro where we're wearing these outfits. Now we're going to teleport and we're going to be wearing other outfits.
And I won't be wearing any outfits.
Whoa.
Because I'll be a disembodied voice.
Right.
Again.
Yep. All right, here we go.
All right. So the next is just general Riordan news again. So we already covered there's going to be a Daughter of the Deep movie, or at the very least that they're working on a script and plans and all of that. But additional news that we heard about this week is about the Nico standalone novel. Woo, Nico D'Angelo and Will Solis, Solangelo. They are getting their own book.
Yes, and they so thoroughly emphasize the Solangelo aspect that made me go, is this actually going to be also Will's point of view?
Yeah.
I don't know. I could easily see it being just Nico, and they just, want to be like, yeah, people love Solangelo. It would be interesting. I really hope that they make Will more three-dimensional and make me really like him, as opposed to just being like, oh, I'm glad Nico has a boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. But additional news is that this book is being co-written by Mark Oshiro, who uses they, he pronouns. So Mark is a member of the LGBT community, and therefore we have that own voice aspect taking place. And again, this is a co-writer situation, so Mark is writing this with Rick.
And this is Rick's first time using a co-author. They're both getting completely the same billing, same amount of money and everything,
credit.
So very interesting, very cool choice on Rick's part. I'm excited to see what Mark adds to the world of the Riordanverse. And I'm excited what this can mean for the future, because Rick talked about how he might do more of this kind of thing, maybe a standalone with other own voice authors. He didn't specifically say this, but I think maybe like a Piper thing, or
nice.
I think
great.
I think we could get some really cool stuff out of that. Obviously, we haven't finished Trials of Apollo yet, so we can't theorize as much as we might want to about this Nico stuff, but it's very exciting. And I think it's interesting that he's saying this is, again, standalone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be like Daughter of the Deep, where it has a beginning, middle, and end, leaves the door open for maybe future things, but they're not planning a trilogy or anything. I think my theory right now is that once this book is done and successful, he will just give Mark Nico. That's my personal feeling, assuming Mark wants that. I think that this is sort of him testing the waters. I keep making water puns by accident.
That's okay. We're talking about a child of Hades now. So
I feel like once Rick feels fully secure in handing off the keys to the kingdom, I think he will.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he has time to keep doing this.
No. This guy has too many projects on.
This guy, this Rick.
Number one Rick, always.
Number one Rick. This is number one Rick instead of whatever I said before.
Well, I want to also, actually, that made me think about, and totally kind of apropos of nothing, but I will say that overall, I would say Daughter of the Deep is the least humorous of his novels. I think there's a few things here and there with some orangutans, but aside from that,
Rick loves non-human primates.
Aside from that, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, I think he really was playing it straight a little bit more than usual.
Yeah. All right. In terms of other news that Rick kind of revealed during this book tour, he's working on a Irish myth book featuring a female protagonist in modern Ireland.
Yes.
Thought that was cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see that for years, but still excited about it.
He has too many TV and movie projects.
He's such a fast writer, though.
Yeah.
Who knows? I could see it in a year and a half.
Yeah.
I feel like this man, if he's decided he's gonna do something, he writes it. This guy.
I am excited by the idea of it being in Ireland.
Yeah.
I never expected that. I
Yeah.
assumed it was going to be another one of the gods came over here sort of thing. Yeah.
No, this is exciting.
Yeah.
And he's the one who got an accidental master's or something by like studying Irish mythology and like history.
He knows
and
quite a bit
language.
about it.
He
Yeah.
was like,
Oh,
I guess I
Rick.
got my master's. And I was like, you want to do a PhD or something? He's like, no, I don't have time for a PhD. Like, that's on the
Rick.
table for you doing
Yeah.
an accidental.
I think it might have been that his wife had to talk him down from doing a PhD.
Oh. Yeah, at Harvard, no less. This was like, okay, cool. This is what Rick does during quarantine. And last but not least, we actually submitted a question to one of the virtual tour events about why Kane Chronicles was only 3 books and not a pentology.
Mhm.
And Rick basically said that there wasn't enough Egyptian mythology to draw on because a bunch of it is murky or has been lost. So that's why he didn't stretch it out
Yeah.
from the trilogy.
Well, and I want to give a little more background, because what we actually specifically asked was, when you have an idea, how do you decide, is it a standalone, is it a pentology, is it a trilogy? And he was saying that with, Percy and stuff, it just kind of happened because he felt like he had so much information and knew so much to draw upon.
Mhm.
And with Kane Chronicles and Norse mythology and stuff, he felt like he had a solid, this is my amount of knowledge, but I don't feel like I have endless amounts of stories. And the reason he keeps making more and more Greek and Roman stuff is he just keeps finding more and more myths to draw upon. Such as, I don't think when he was writing the Percy stuff, he knew about Apollo being made human. There is it's kind of the everlasting drink of Greek and Roman mythology. But
You
that
made
being
another
said-
water. Like,
Wow.
That being said, there's definitely more Egyptian stuff he could have drawn on. So, meh.
Yeah, we don't accept this answer for the record. This is our bit
there's
of
also
criticism.
there's so much of that cool both like Greco-Egyptian and Roman
Mhm.
Egyptian
Yeah.
myth that he started getting into, and it's so cool. And Sadie and Carter.
Yeah. Get an own voice novelist to come on to that too. Let them have Kane Chronicles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want more Kane Chronicles.
Yes,
We're not,
that's
too.
we're not going to get it.
No, we're not. But we can hope.
Yeah.
We can hope with these standalones. All right, so that's it for our thoughts. If you want to send us your feedback, however, you can do so at our podcast feedback at gmail.com. You can comment on the YouTube version of the podcast, or you can tweet at us at Ranking Riordan. Also, if you want to send us reviews, you can do so at lovethepodcast.com/Riordan. And a big thank you to CBFSYHB. I can't pronounce this as a word for your review. So thanks a lot for taking the time to do that. We did get some feedback on our How Can Disney Improve Percy Jackson video.
Yeah.
So Ethan Black suggested that Nico and Bianca could show up at the Lotus Hotel sequence in Lightning Thief.
I thought
Great
that's
idea.
a really smart idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really fun. And that way we can cast them quickly.
That's true.
Yeah.
A nice bonus.
Yeah.
And then Ocean Kim said, one thing that I really hope they do improve in Lightning Thief is to show Percy's first week at camp in more detail. I think the story could be really strengthened by actually showing Percy adjusting to camp life and meeting new people and learning new things. Specifically, things that are pivotal to the plot of the Lightning Thief and future books. The best way to do this is to have Percy try out different activities at camp. In doing so, he can meet the counselors that will play key roles throughout the series. He would meet Beckendorf while learning forging, Selena during Pegasi riding, and Lee Fletcher during archery, etc.
Thought this was also very smart. Good way to introduce the various people that don't play a key role necessarily in the first book, but you get a little taste of them. You get a further taste of the camp itself. Maybe you have him talking to Luke throughout all of this too, because he's with the Hermes cabin. A lot of cool. Maybe you can introduce Blackjack in the first book.
I think this really just depends on how many episodes they'll get.
Yeah.
Because if you have a 10-episode season, then kind of ramping things up a little bit more slowly and learning characters and maybe not a ton of action after the Minotaur sequence, then or his arrival at camp, then you're like fine.
Well, I think you
But-
have an episode where the whole like first 2/3 are this kind of stuff at camp, and then it ends with the action sequence of capture the flag.
Yeah.
Um,
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think it just depends on how much time I think they can afford.
Yeah.
But it'll
Well,
be
actually,
nice.
so something I think you might have missed the bullet points from the news part that you reminded me of is that he did talk a little bit about the TV show and saying that he's using it as a way to, be able to tell things that people have been asking for a long time and go more into backstories of characters and also to create combinations of characters that we haven't really seen as much. I was thinking about the fact that we almost never hear about what Grover and Annabeth's relationship is like. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's something they could play with.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is number one Rick. This is the best Rick. Like, we're living in the universe with the best Rick right now. I'm so glad he's doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Come on,
fantastic.
Disney. Give us
Give
a
us
little
our
bit of
green
news.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
So it sounds like they'll be filming in the summer of 2022 and that we'll probably get it in January 2023.
Fingers crossed.
That's what it's looking like to me. I think we'll get the official green light January, February of 2022.
Wow.
And that's when they'll start doing casting.
That's around the corner. Come on.
Yeah.
The kids that we cast, they're grown up. So
Yeah, I know.
let's get to work.
All right, guys. So that's going to end out this podcast. If you want to come back next week and watch our spoiler cast, where we're going to review and rank and recap Daughter of the Deep, that'd be great. Or just come back whenever you finish the book. We highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for listening. And may the waters of life wash over you. And may
That
you
sounds bad and threatening.
may you dive deep into the future.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sure.
Safe voyage to. Never mind.